Hello and welcome to the We Got Options radio show with the Doctor and Son. And today we're going to be talking to Dr. Latasha McIlwaine about her special needs advocacy program. But before I go on, let me thank you again for coming on the show. Would you mind telling the audience about how you got started with the Greene McIlwaine Foundation and everything?
Thank you so much, Tremaine, for having me on this show to be able to talk about the Greene McIlwaine Foundation and the original reason why we started the Greene McIlwaine Foundation. It was really an idea that I came up with after being able to work through a lot of things, getting my sons through school. And with getting them through school, it was an adventure, let me say that. So with that being said, basically what we do is we're a nonprofit that provides needed uh, care, counseling, consulting, navigation service, advocacy services to families that have children, a child or children, as well as a family member with a newly diagnosed or an existing diagnosis of any level of special needs that we can help them jump in and navigate systems, meaning healthcare system, educational system, recreational community systems, just being able to develop that active engagement that in the services that the individual may need, or that the mom or dad may feel like it would be good if we had this in place, or whatever the case may be. So our job is to go in and find out, hey, what are your needs and what can we do to help you get to a better state of having those needs met. So that's typically what we do as a nonprofit agency when we're definitely talking about our special needs advocacy service or special needs navigating services in the community.
Thank you. Could you tell me what your first interaction with the families will be like?
So the first conversation, usually a screening. We will talk with them and kind of see what's going on and why they need our service. And with that being said, we do let them know that as of right now, and probably moving into the next few years, we are not asking for any family to pay us not one single dime at all, no penny, no nothing. We are asking them to allow us to come in and allow us to find out what their needs are. We want to come in and do like I said, the first conversation is a little bit of a screening. Second conversation is more of an assessment. We go in and we do a needs assessment to figure out, okay, what can we do and how can we help this family? Not only are we going to address what they are interested in having help with, we're also going to hear other things that's going on, and we're going to give them the recommendations of what we think would be helpful to them and how we can be able to connect with agency or connect with other individuals to see how we can figure out of them getting the service and getting the support. And of course, right now our goal is that we want to help the families connect in the community and connect in these other agencies. So we're asking those agencies, are you accepting their insurance? Are you accepting their Medicaid? Are you accepting cash pay? If you are you on a sliding scale fee? So we are just trying to be that that support there, where sometimes I think parents and caregivers can get very overloaded and overwhelmed. When I say overloaded and overwhelmed, it's like a lot happening and a lot going on, and they're not thinking about, oh, but he or she needs to have some outlet where they can go and paint because they like painting, or oh, they need an outlet where they can go and run around a track because they like being outside and like being out in nature and running around, and they're really focused on their speed and things like that. You get what I'm saying? Just trying to make sure that the family, if they tell us there's something that the individual likes or the individual is taking to, we try to figure out if they're I haven't had this yet, but I pray I do get it one day. I think it's a thing called comma, is it comma, we, oh gosh, I can't think of what it is. Well, anyway, it's where all the I think they have one for anime, they may have one for Marvel,
You're
but
talking
when,
about clubs of
no,
sorts?
not clubs, I'm talking about the event, the
You're talking about the cons.
yes, when they come to town and things like that, that would be something. If you have a child that's interested in that, we could try to figure out with the family, oh my goodness, this is coming to town, the child's real interested in that, let's give them something or do something for them. If the family can't afford it, I intend on being at a point one day that donations and things like that would be one of the things that we're able to actually, do with the family and be able to give them a donation of those tickets to be able to take the child or take the adult to an event like that. Does that kind of make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah. So starting out, we just get a pretty much screening and a needs assessment. And then from there, we start trying to help them plan for what they're coming to us for. And then we also make the recommendations for things that we learn about, that the child or the adult likes or is involved in. And as we learn about different things in the community, we bring it to the forefront and tell the family, hey, blah, 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 blah. And I promise it's one of those con thing come to the area where that family is. And we bring it to their attention and they're like, oh yeah, we want to go, but we just don't have the money. Like I said, we are on the back end still trying to make sure that we can figure out how to get a family there. So that might even mean us making contact with the producers or the people who's putting on the event to see not only can we get a free ticket or some free tickets, but can we have the assistance of some of their staff to make sure that our client is getting around the area, if they're in a wheelchair or if they have trouble walking or anything like that. We will try to make sure that we set up for that special assistance that's needed in order for them to go to an event like that. So that's kind of our thing. We try to see what we can do. We try to be that extra leg that, mom and dad may not be able to do, or may not even have sometimes the whole idea of what's really going on, that they feel like they need to do things like that. But that's what we're there for. That's why we're wanting to work with families and help them.
Okay. So before I get into my next question, I think I'll just pull in for a commercial break and we'll be right back with We Got Options Radio Show with the Doctor and Son.
Dr. Latasha McIlwaine's professional consulting services. Dr. Latasha McIlwaine has become an elite and esteemed professional in her field of counseling psychology. She provides consultation in counseling and business practices, as well as providing supervision, consultation to professionals in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Please reach out to drlatashamcilwaine.com 704-492-1105.
And we're back with the We Got Options Radio Show with the Doctor and Son. And we're just going to continue our interview with Dr. Latasha McIlwaine. Now, Doc, one quick question. I know before we went to commercial break, you talked about the community aspect of your program. What about the educational side?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that. I can elaborate more on that for you. So on the educational side, what happens is parents, and this is young students as well as adult students. Parents get in the rigmarole of the child going to school, and then the child end up having some different special needs or special things that they need done in school. And these schools will go ahead and start setting up IEP meetings and 504 information, and they're doing whatever they're doing in school. And parents are brought in on that, but they're not even sure what type of testing their kid done had, what makes them meet criteria for this. Why is it now I gotta go to school every year and do this thing called an IEP and an update? They don't know what the accommodations are. It's just a lot. And it's a lot for a lot of the parents that I have worked with, because you send your kid to school, you're not thinking you're going to get called back at home and say, oh, they have to be in a special class, or oh, we did some testing, they have to, or we're noticing this, that, and the other. But when that happens, I am there, and my team is there to help that family understand, first of all, what's going on with the kid in the academic setting, whether it is a academic concern or a cognitive concern. We definitely always ask for a psychological evaluation so we can figure some things out. And in North Carolina, we typically will ask those parents also to get a psychological evaluation outside of the school system, which is something we do very often in North Carolina. And then we're able to interpret that psychological evaluation to really help that parent or the family, caregiver understand what level of education this child is probably going to go to, or this individual is probably going to go to, and how much support they're probably going to need, and then what level of living are they going to be able to have as they graduate from high school and get out into the world. Would they be able to live independently on their own? Would they have to live, close by family? Would they have to live in the family's home? Will they be able to go off to college and kind of maneuver a little bit? And all that's going to be a part of getting that information in place earlier. We can also deal with it if it comes later, but getting that information in place earlier when they're in school and they have those IEPs in place, or the teachers feel like there's something that you talk about, or the 504 plan. So basically what we do is we're able to go into those IEP meetings with those parents or caregivers and speak with the teachers and hear what the teachers are saying and break things down to the family members or the caregivers in lamest terms, and also make sure that what they're saying is being conveyed correctly, and that the school is understanding what they're saying, the teachers are understanding, and that the teachers are going to follow through with everything. When I say follow through with everything, if there's testing they're requesting, if there's additional supports they're requesting, all of these things, it comes along also with their accommodations once an IEP or a 50 plan is made. So basically, if the child would probably benefit from sitting in front of the classroom, then you need to give the child preferential seating. Child need to be in the front of the classroom. If the individual needs to be read out loud to, then you need to give them that oral reading when it comes down to their testing. When they're testing, they may need additional time. So you need to make sure that they have another room to go into in order to extend and have their additional time. They got to have extended time. So there's a lot of things like that parents are like, what? And they don't know what that is. Even taking them out for their occupational therapy pieces in the school, as well as their speech therapy components in the school and their physical therapy components in the school. A lot of that comes along with having an IEP or a 504 plan in place. And it is a different and unique way to make sure that, of course, all the children are, no one's excluded, everyone's included in everything. They want to be very inclusive with everything that the school is doing. But that's one of the things I think a lot of our families don't realize, that there's a whole nother gamut to it. And even once we're done with academics and they're out of school, we can also help families and help families to explore what career development skills and ideas and thoughts that the person might want to do. Child and adult now, and they want to get into cooking, or they want to get into working on cars, or they want to get into just whatever it is they want to get into. They want to get into working at the local grocery store or something like that. So these are things that we try to encourage them. And then also, they could also say, well, I want to go to a 2-year college where I live at home and I go to school, or I want to go to Job Corps, or I want to go, and so with that, those are the type of skills and things that we're working with the family and with the client to make sure that we are covering things that when they do leave home for any level of, whether it's 2-year college and still coming home every night, or, going to a Job Corps program, or going to a 4-year college, or going wherever it is they're going, that they have some skills to work with. So that's kind of where we're at with the academic piece of stuff, and then going into like the community, that lifelong learning and lifelong, community living activities,
Thank you. That was real enlightening. With that being said, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with the We Got Options radio show with the Doctor and Son.
Insightful Options, PLLC, providing counseling, consultation, and DWI services in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Contact us at www.insightful-options.com, 704-492-1105.
And we're back with the We Got Options radio show with the Doctor and Son. And today we're going to be wrapping up our interview with Dr. Latasha McIlwaine, talking about the Greene McIlwaine Foundation. Last question, Ms. McIlwaine. Dr. McIlwaine, I want to know about the origins of the foundation, and why did you feel the need to create it and everything?
Okay. So we actually created the Greene McIlwaine Foundation in 2019, and this was built on, it's a family business, a family outreach project that I had in my mind for years, but just didn't know how I was going to go about doing it. So I ended up realizing that I wanted to help families, and I wanted it to be at first a free service, and then we can branch into other stuff a little bit later. But like I said, I really want to be able to help families navigate, because I think sometimes, I hate to say it, but children and adults with special needs get a bad rap that they're going to sit at home for the rest of their career after they graduate with high school, and there's nothing else you can do with them, and there's so much more that they can do with themselves. And so, what I mean. So I like to try to make sure that the individuals feel like they can be a productive citizen. They can go to school every day. They can go down to the grocery store. They can get their own food. I just want them to be really independent as much as they possibly can be independent. It's not pushing them, but it's definitely helping them realize that, oh, I don't have a whole lot of deficiencies or impairments, because I can go out and do the same thing you do. You go grocery shopping, I go grocery shopping. You know what I mean? I get in my car and drive, you get in your car and drive. Okay. So I try to help, families realize that they can jump hurdles, and there's a lot of things that they can do that, a lot of times doctors and therapists and some other people in the community, they'll say they won't be able to ever do that, and they're able to do it. That's the blessing in it. So that's kind of some of the reasons why we came out with it. And also, like I said, we wanted to have that extra support for our families, and that could be supportive counseling. You could have, a mom with a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, and 5-year-old, all of them probably dealing with some level of something, and they have, some of the early intervention services coming into their home already, but mom is flat out stressed out, or dad is just he's not even involved because he's so, so we try to do some supportive counseling in those areas with our parents and our caregivers. We also try to do some support groups so that families can talk about some of the things that they're dealing with, and come up with groups and talk about, hey, this is what we did. Oh, okay, maybe I'll try that. And then social skills training, definitely for not only the individuals that's dealing with the special need, but also for the parents. I hate to say it, but I was one of those parents that I knew what to say when it came to my, what I'm doing, but when it came to my children and trying to tell different things, sometimes I needed some special, social skills training to be able to have that conversation with everybody. And now I can have that conversation with anybody, because I don't want to feel shame. And I know a lot of parents do feel kind of shame about it, but I want to bring it out that no, it's not the end of the world for you. It's not a shameful feeling. You just really go into it. And then again, like I said, just being able to offer different type of therapies and things like that is needed to help support the family and support the participants that are in the program. So that's kind of, when we talk about the origin of it, that's, kind of what we, are looking to do and to help support these families in the community.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And I've been looking at your website, and with everything I've seen, that you have you have your hands pretty much in a lot of different things in
Yes.
terms of what the foundation's reach is.
Yes.
Could
The
you
foundation.
could you give me a little preview?
Yes, thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Yeah, so basically, we have different services with our foundation. This specific one that we're talking about right now is the special needs navigator services, and that navigation service is for those families that are dealing with, like I said, an individual in their house, or a child or adult, doesn't matter. They have special needs, and they want to see them do more. And that person is saying, "Hey, mom, I want to be able to go out and walk, along the street by myself, and I want to do this and I want to do that." And we're there to help give that family that support, so that the things that that individual want to do, and things that mom might see them want to do, or dad or cousins or whatever, that they're equipped to go out there and go to a cookout with the family members, and not have mama holding their hands, or daddy sitting right there watching over them like a hawk. Different things like that, or go to work, or go to an event, or go just do things. um so the special needs navigator, like I said, that is a great program that we definitely do with the younger ones. So that's a lot of their academics and still, outside community activities as well, and services that need to be in place, or we recommend, and services that the parents typically a lot of times want in place. And then, like I said, on the adult side, just really supporting those family members and supporting those participants that really want to get out the house and do stuff all day. Like they don't want to be in the house all day, And so that's that part of it. We also have our Young Sister Circle. Our Young Sister Circle is really about young moms between the age, I believe, of 12 and maybe 18, 21. But anyway, these are moms that, ended up pregnant early, and there is no option but for them to have this child. So with that option being that only thing being there, that they have to have this child, we are the people that will step in and help them navigate services as well. We will advocate for them as well when it comes down to school, academics also. We will also navigate for them in the community, getting them set up with prenatal care, making sure they're making their doctor's appointments, trying to figure out how we can get them, make sure they have the testing in place, that we understand where the child is. And that service goes into 5 years after the child has been born. So young lady comes to me, she's about 2 months pregnant, 3 months pregnant. Oh my gosh, we got to keep it. Okay, well, yes, let's go ahead and start getting more positivity in the situation, because we're gonna make this a success. So with that being said, with the Young Sister Circle, we're able to work with her through pregnancy, work with her after the child is born. That's 5 years after the child is born, we're able to work with them. And then we definitely go along with them for the ride for the first 5 years after they give birth, seeing if they are interested in different services that they need help with, which would be support groups, counseling, advocacy, educational workshop, life skills planning, additional family planning. Some individuals might say, I don't want to have another kid because I'm 14 years old and I'm having this child. I don't want to have another kid for the next 5, 10 years. I want to get my life together and go to school and things like that before I have more kids. Dr. McIlwaine, okay, that's fine. We do that. We help them with things like that. We help them plan for whether they're going to go to college, whether they're going to get ready for job preparation in their community, whether they are going to, develop those working skills, also volunteering in other community programs, and then business opportunity. If they want to do a business of their own, we try to help them start and help them, figure out what the plan is for that. And then also we're going to get to this point where we can actually offer them scholarships and things like that to be able to help them with business startup, to help them with getting to college, to help them just with different things. If we just buy them book vouchers for them, we're just trying to help those individuals. So that's the second initiative. And I know this is long, but I'm going to keep on giving it to you here. We have our Dr. Dream Dancer Studio. That's really with art and dance and kind of like movement therapy. So we're working on that as well. And that is going to be, a whole different level of, changing our mindset to fitness, and changing our mindset to nutrition, and changing our mindset to, just making sure that you're maintaining your wellness that way. Everyone knows that I'm a mental health therapist, so I definitely am into wellness, and I'm definitely into that mind body connection. So that's kind of what we do there. And then the last one is our International Counseling and Business Leadership Summit. And that one, again, is more focused on professionals coming into the business, professionals that are already in the business, and really developing a mentorship, mentee type program. And then also being able to volunteer out services in different areas. And my hope and prayer is that with this International Counseling and Business Leadership Summit, we will have our weekly meetings. We will go into our monthly meetings, and then we will have our yearly conference that we are kind of considering adding on to maybe a retreat, as we are looking to do a retreat next year. So it's just a lot of fun stuff that we're working with right now, and a lot of different adventures that I have in place, and wanting to kind of get into. So yeah, it's just a lot. It's so the Greene McIlwaine Foundation is really, really blossoming in a way that like I said, I'm extremely excited about it. So thanks so much for asking me to add in some of the other components and initiatives for Greene McIlwaine Foundation. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And with that being said, we're gonna wrap up the show. This has been We Got Options radio show with the doctor and son, and we'll see you next week, same time, Fridays at 8:30 next week. See you next week.
Bye. All right, Tremaine, I'm going to pick this up and you're going to have to figure out how to get this in. And to make contact with the Greene McIlwaine Foundation, you can go to.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
Are you doing that for a commercial?
No, I'm doing that because you didn't ask me anything about contact. So you want to tell me how to contact you, and then you want to throw this in somewhere.
Yeah. Turn on the recording and we'll just put it in.
I didn't turn the recording off, so we're still recording right now. You just have to take this out. I'm sorry.
Just go ahead.
Okay. So you're gonna ask me first?
Yeah. How could that? And how can we contact you?
Oh, so yeah, to make contact with the Greene McIlwaine Foundation, we do have a website, greenemcilwainefoundation.org. And I'm going to spell it out because I know it's very long. Greene is Greene. McIlwaine is McIlwaine. And then foundation, FOUNDATION.org. So greenemcilwainefoundation.org. And you can definitely also give us a call at 704-492-1105. Our e-fax is 800-773-9503. You can also send an email to us, Dr. McIlwaine at greenemcilwainefoundation.org. You can also check us out at our address, which is only by appointments. We're at 615 East 6th Street, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28202. We also have other websites that you can also, segue into making sure that you are getting to the Greene McIlwaine Foundation. We have www.insightful-options.com. And then we also have www.drlatashamcilwaine.com.
Thanks, Doc. And on that note, we've been the We Got Options radio show with the Doctor and Son. You can catch us on Friday mornings at 8:30 a.m. See you next week.
We Got Options with the Doctor and Son, a family conversation discussing mental health and wellness topics weekly with a variety of special guest appearances. Join us every Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. on www.wdrbmedia.com.